Hi there, it's Aaron Muller with District Technology's Educational Planning Team, otherwise known as the TIPS team. And this video is going to help some of you out regarding the school zone groups in Google and helping you identify which of those school zone groups are yours and which of them are not. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have sent a request into into School Zone to make sure that your Google groups are showing up. How do you do this? Pretty simple. Log into School Zone, click on the Planner tab, and click over here on this gray button called Google Groups. Click on this once. It'll tell you how many times or how long it will be before your Google Groups are created. Click on OK, and you're done. This is a one-time thing. You'll need to do this once while you're working with an Edmonton Public, and then whatever school zone groups you have access to up here will be populated or show up within Google. The issue for most people is not knowing which school zone groups are theirs. So for example, I've created a school zone group. I've already submitted my request to School Zone to ask those school groups to be populated, and I want to share the doc. You can share a document a number of ways, just shared folders, a site, even through School Zone. But for this instance, I'm going to do the most popular one. It's clicking on the blue button here and deciding to share something. So people go down here, and they know that most of the School Zone groups start with SZ. So they start typing SZ, and they get a little overwhelmed because they're not sure which one of these are theirs. Some people do SZ Math 4, which narrows it down a little bit, but there's so many Math 4 classes, it's like, which one of these is mine? I don't know. What you need to know is the unique number combination or group name of your school zone group and the email address of that school zone Google group, which is here and here. You need to kind of know those two. Once you start to type in those names more and more, the ones you type in are going to pop up faster, and you're just going to recognize them, going, oh yeah, I'm the Elm 4300 7R. I know that sounds confusing now, but the more times you type it, you're going to know that's your school zone group and just go, oh yeah, that's my Math 4 class. But for a new person, this is overwhelming. So how do you find out your unique numbers? Well, that's what this video is going to show. So to help with that, remember in School Zone that in the Planner tab, you can see all the classes that you have access to or should have access to. Only these groups will show up. If you're trying to share to a, let's for this example, share to a Math 2 class, it's not going to be possible with the Google group because you don't have access to that School Zone group. So these numbers here, for instance, Health 50143A, helps me to understand the School Zone group. I need to know the Google group. The two of them will go together, make things easier. So remember these numbers for now, and then we're going to dive back into our Google apps, and we're going to click on this grid, which is new in the last couple of weeks, and click on the apps. So this is actually your apps, but click on this grid. This menu will pop down, and down here you can see your Google groups. These are all the groups that you are a part of within School Zone. So your school groups, any project groups that you might be a part of, but this is also where your School Zone groups show up. So you click on that button, wait a little bit for your groups to load, and what you want to do is click on My Groups. So click on My Groups, wait a little bit. All the groups that you were a part of will populate. As you can see, here are all the School Zone groups. Click on the group that you want to get that Google group for, the email account. So I click on Art4. I wait a little bit for that group to load. You are the manager of these groups, and you can see information about them. Once that group shows up here and you've clicked on it, you slide over to the right here and click on the About button. Once you've clicked on the About button, this is like hitting gold. Here you can see the group's name, which can be confirmed back to School Zone. But more importantly, it has this right here, which is the School Zone group email. So highlight that, Control-C it to copy it. Then you can go back to your document, your shared folder, your site, whatever it might be, and share a document and Control-V it and paste it in. You might say, hey, Aaron, I don't want to do that every time. You don't have to. Do it once, then you will start to recognize I am ArtZ, I'm School Zone Art4. Looks like the key to this account or this account I'm using is SZ_123_Elm 4500. I know that sounds confusing now, but as soon as you start to type in those, you'll know which ones are yours. The more often you use them, they'll be the ones that populate first. It sounds confusing now, but it's going to help. So that's basically the easiest way to start identifying which one of these school zone groups are yours. I'm going to stop there. The next couple of minutes of this video is going to take things a little bit further. That first bit should help most average users. The next part is a little more work that allows you to customize these school zone groups. So what I mean by that is, remember we went in and we went into the group and about the group, and I identified here's the group name and the group email. Still copying this email account, you can go back up to your Google Apps up here in the grid, click on the grid, and go to your contacts. Here is where you can customize the name of this group to show up in your contacts as a name specific to you, so you don't get overwhelmed with all those school zone groups. This is more work, and the other way will work just fine, but I wanted to show that this is an option. So what you do is you basically make a new contact, and you give it a name. This is great because you can have a name based on the boys volleyball team, art in third period, my Division 1 group, maybe you've got some guided reading groups and this is the blue group, whatever it is, you get to choose this, and this helps me. So I'm going to call this, click on the name, and I'm going to call this art 3-4 or 4-5 a.m. Let's just pretend that this is my art class that I only have in the morning as a 4-5 split, but the school zone group can't quite show that to me. This is more about you wanting to customize and build it yourself. Then go down to the email and Control V that previous email account, that Google group. Save now. And now that is connected profile is tied to the school zone group, but you now know it as art 4-5 a.m. So when I go into my document or my folder or whatever I am trying to share now, another choice I have on top of using the school zone generated groups is I can go in here and type in SZ and identify through my unique numbers. You can already see these ones popping up now. Or I can type in art. And here, down here at the bottom already, is that one I just created, art 4-5 a.m. So it helps me remember that group name. I can then save and share it and use it just how I would with any other Google group. The only downside to this is because you created this Google contact, you're going to have to remember in the summer or early in the fall, if you don't remember, to get rid of or change this contact group list. You might still have a class next year called art 4-5 a.m., but you don't want it to redirect to this class because that's the class from last year. So you decide which one to use. If you guys can come up with any other ideas about how to use the school zone groups, let us know. But definitely take advantage of the school zone groups. They are far better than typing in 30 kids' names here each time or going into your contacts and you typing in the 30 kids' names. Also remember, built right in within School Zone is the ability to share right to a class. So for instance, if you're using the planner tab, you want to add something and you want to post it and you click the attachment over here, you can choose a local file or a Google Drive. But when you choose Google Drive and you've specified up here the specific class that it goes to, School Zone will take care of all the sharing for you and do the sharing. So you don't even have to go into Google to do it. The choice is yours. Sometimes too many choices are confusing. Regardless, hope this helps. Take care and happy Googling.